I'm personally someone that doesn't like to constantly hear about movies that are coming out in a couple of years because you end up either getting very excited and you start thinking about all of the different plots and storylines that they could go with, or other times you may ask yourself, why the heck do they need to make this film? Therefore, you feel instantly disappointed with any news surrounding the project. I know that most studios are just trying to test the waters to see what an early reaction might look like for the project, but most of the time studios don't actually care about what people think. But besides that, Madame Webb is apparently receiving her own movie. I legitimately am confused as to why she got a movie out of all of the characters that deserve films, but mystery female-led Spider-Man universe film announced. Although fans might be waiting longer for Venom 2 and Morbius, the Sony live-action Spider-Verse continues to grow. According to a report from Variety, the studio has tapped director S.J. Clarkson to develop the first female-centric movie from Sony's catalog of Marvel Spider-Man adjacent characters. Of course, let's just point out that the angle that all of the news websites that are covering this are taking is, of course, the first female-centric movie from Sony's catalog. That always has to be the angle that these places take, and we all know that this is most likely the angle that the movie will be marketed with in point, but Clarkson was previously attached to a fourth Star Trek film that never saw the light of day. Although not totally confirmed, the report seems to indicate that Clarkson's movie will revolve around the previously rumored Madame Webb. The project is in its earliest stages, so there is no script or even a projected release window, much less a star attached. However, the names Amy Adams and Charlize Theron seem to be on a short list of potential stars. Madame Webb is an interesting choice for a solo film, to be sure. She's essentially only ever been a supporting character in the comics and has never held her own in an ongoing series. They're saying that this would be interesting. Why do we need to make a movie around a B-rank character? I mean, honestly, while she's neat, I guess, she's never been a big character. She doesn't have a recognizable name, which is why I think I'm mainly confused. I mean, if you're a fan of The Amazing Spider-Man, maybe you know who she is, but I feel like the general audience of these movies aren't going to have any clue who she is, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I just want to say that. I love giving the spotlight to characters who deserve it, but based on what she's done in the comics, she just has not done enough to justify her being the leading character in a film. Continuing on though, the character's real name is Cassandra Webb. She's usually portrayed as an elderly blind woman, and is more of an oracle type. She helped Spider-Man via her clairvoyant visions, but suffered from a chronic disease, which made it very hard for her to move and breathe on her own, and because of that, she was permanently attached to a life support system that took the appearance of a giant spider's web. Unless she's seriously retooled as a character, it will be tough to deliver an action movie surrounding her. That was a big point that I initially thought of, is obviously a lot of these movies do have big budgets at this point, and CGI has progressed so amazingly, but to actually pull off a movie with her being the lead star and the focus of the film would be extremely difficult. The article, though, finishes off with, what is most shocking about the news is that Sony is releasing the Madame Webb film as their female-led spider-centric movie instead of Spider-Woman. I'm going to tell you my initial thoughts with this because we know virtually nothing about what it will actually be, but looking at her background, characters she's known in comic series, I personally think that they may be going with a Professor X direction, where she might have a team in front of her doing the tough work, and she's sort of the one pulling the strings, and while she is fairly powerful with her telepathic abilities, she's definitely not someone who could take on, like, Thanos, for instance, that's for sure. I also want to point out that she is a character that's been blind from birth, she's paralyzed, she's a precognitive mutant, and in the depictions of her, though, she's also been quite a bit older than most of the characters we've seen traditionally, besides, like, Professor X and Magneto. So I can't tell if they're genuinely thinking that she will be a good character to go with, or if she's just another character they think represents diversity because she is all of those things. Unfortunately, though, she may just be another character picked from the diversity dartboard. They may have just flipped through the pages of comics until they found someone that could fit the bill they're looking for. There's also a theory that they may want to finally tie in the Sony Cinematic Universe of Marvel characters and the Marvel Cinematic Universe together, and this could be a character that may be used for that purpose. Again, we really don't know, but it is a little bit fun to speculate when it comes to new characters. So in the end, they might write her an amazing, completely fantastic story, which would be awesome. But looking at the source material, I'm just not convinced that she's the next leading lady. So let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you excited with hearing this announcement, or are you a little bit disappointed? If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, and of course if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, and I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.